Into the fire. Into the fire. I gotta stop. The cringe continues here tonight on Power. It's been quite a minute. I think it's been 2 months, like 3 or 2 months since I've reviewed. The last episode I reviewed, I think, was the 13th episode of NWA Power. I think I stopped because I consistently gave up. I didn't know where in the world they were streaming pay-per-views. They had hard times on, I think, December, and earlier during the season premiere they had Into the Fire. So now we have the Crockett Cup that's been pushed back, and of course the biggest selling point currently on NWA is the rivaling villain enterprises. That's from Ring of Honor, and they kept referencing all over the show, from the Eli Drake promo, from, of course, literal Ring of Honor wrestlers out of Brody King, Flip Gordon, and of course Marty Scurll. That was at the main event in a tag team match with Tom Latimer and Nick Aldis. Now, if you watch some of my reviews, I am quite fond of NWA Power. It's a breath of fresh air. It's quick, blunt, to the point, traditional, basic, and the way they transition over interviews feels so fresh, so nice, and it actually makes you feel like, oh my god, I know these guys. It's such a breath of fresh air from the basic, make a hot chick do a basic interview with one of the wrestlers. They ask the most benign questions that are so basic that you feel like you're doing a promo selection out of universe mode of the current 2K games. It's and it feels so fresh. I barely have negatives whenever I speak about NWA and NWA Power over most of the negatives that I have with AEW, that I have with WWE, that I don't that I have a couple negatives. That's why I usually don't review NXT, even though I feel like the in-ring wrestling is pretty okay. It's pretty good, but over the selling point of it being a long-term mainstream appeal for a somewhat third brand, it doesn't interest me. And practically most of you guys don't come here for my NXT reviews. Uh, uh yeah. So the main event came over from one-on-one one-on-one match from the previous, I guess the previous Power. This is Super Power. This is like an over an hour event. Uh, Tasha Steelz won a triple threat match against Marty Bell and Alicia and Ashley Vox. That I think Ashley Vox associates with Melina. We also had the Rock and Roll Express cutting a promo over involving the Crockett Cup and trying to become 9-time champions. Then we had, of course, Aaron Stevens facing out and with Mark with question Mark in a pretty good match. I kept trying to be like, we're trying to capture all the gold in the NWA comedic skit still. With it's kind of ironic because if you watch what Aaron Stevens or Damian Sandow did back in WWE, he obviously had the stunt double gimmick that was quite over with the WWE fans from back in the day, from I think 2014 to 2015. And then they gave him a singles run, and you know how he is with singles runs; it doesn't really go his way. He's better off with somebody to foil. And it's the same thing, except he's getting booed instead of getting yays. So it's working out pretty nicely. I think the heel dynamic, but it's pretty comedic as well because now he's holding on to the the national title. So pretty okay match. Ends up via roll up over Aaron Stevens. Pretty okay match of going to the ability of the Rock and Roll Express. These guys are like fucking 60. They're still trying to work to this day. Big ups to them, but pretty tough knowing that we still the Dawson's been recently released. I was watching the NWA podcast. They had Melina cut a promo involving herself being in the title picture with Thunder Rosa intervening on the former NWA Women's Champion getting involved in the Thunder Rosa, calling out that there probably might be a triple threat match for the NWA Women's Championship. Plastering, I thought they kept doing these singles matches, pushing her off as a silent killer, and then she comes around being like, "It's so great being women's champion," and I just wish it was a bit more than just that. She's just happy to be there, that basic baby face crap, or at least that she's shown to be neutral. Because back then, like months ago, she used to affiliate with, I think it was Marty Bell, Melina, and Thunder Rosa trying to dethrone the previous women's champion. And then we had a no DQ match over Tim Storm facing off against Jax. Jackson Dane. That's better. I like a Jackson in the name, so don't try to correct me. Don't correct me. It was a basic match. They tried to at least like sell the point of the dude being huge. Like these guys are so huge, so great into the match. It's such hard hitting. These guys are like Jackson Dane looks fat, and Tim Storm, no disrespect to a former world champion, the guy's pushing 50. He's trying to make this a no DQ match because nobody wants to watch these guys going for like 20 minutes in the ring, going for headlock over headlock, and then we have basic scuffles from the outside. They keep going over the street. We have Jax Dane's manager insulting, of course, Mama Storm. Of course, that's somehow over with the fans on NWA. Mama Storm, because he always brings that up in his promos to at least get a big pop that he's doing this for his mother. And selling point is at least pushing back a huge rivalry from, I guess, years ago. Thanks, Tim Storm been holding the NWA World Title for like probably a year or something, or like at least 2 years. So rough on that spectacle. Tasha Steelz won a triple threat match against Marty Bell and Ashley Fox that I can just say was pretty basic. I think there's a double suplex, there's a lariat. Tasha Steelz was picking up some momentum, and she pinned Marty Bell in the roll up. I think that was supposed to get a future shot or something. It was a pretty alright triple threat match. We had something involving Carneyville from Billy Corgan after the video was done. We obviously don't know much about what's going to happen until future events pop up. Uh, it was a pretty okay I like the elevation of content NWA tries to do. Billy Corgan has all these creative ideas to try to pull up and expand I love it. I love it, and I hope they really improve. Next up, Eli Drake, James Storm, Eddie Kingston cut out a promo after, homicide, suffering an injury. Thanks. Without Eddie Kingston as his tag team partner, we have James Storm and Eli Drake. Pretty good promo, and the salsa was just picking out the crowd. The crowd connecting with of course, Eli Drake. I think he has a great personality, great connection with the crowd. I feel like he's just the Miz if he had the Rock's charisma. But he has a pretty good promo in him, and he picks it up all right in the ring. But we know James Storm is a bit better than him. Bringing up that that we're all men, dishing out anybody in the Crockett Cup that's willing to take these titles away from him. And Fade to Black, pretty good on that appeal. We also have the main event that was Nick Aldis and Tom Latimer, Strictly Business versus Villain Enterprises, and I have to say, pretty okay match. I like the babyface dynamic, even though it's called Villain Enterprise, so you expect the pure heat to come out of a team called. It's like calling yourself the Nazis, and you're just willing for it. Woo, woo, and here comes of course, Germany's Nazis coming in, and they're wishing for a pop. Woo! The Epic. Fuck you. Oh yeah. Sorry. Damn it. It's weird. It's kind of weird in that dynamic, but we understand like Strictly Business is a heel faction on NWA, Ring of any other out of promotional thing. they're kind of playing the babyface, but it's kind of odd in that dynamic. I think my favorite spot in the night was practically just Marty Scurll trying to sell that it was a hit to the back when he was running the ropes, and he just, oh shit, oh my god, woo, uh, that he was just running the ropes, and immediately Nick Aldis, he thought that Nick Aldis hit him, so he tricked the ref. He clapped his hands and thought it was a kick to the back. Sorry about that. Something. It was just a kick to the back. So he faked it out until Tom Latimer came involved, and we thought for a moment uh, Villain Enterprise was going to win. I think the best move was trip from the legs and then a running splash from Brody King. Royce Isaacs came to interfere. Then Camilla that had a squash match. It's just a spear. There was not much time to involve yourself in the squash match. Camille did what she had to. She beat somebody by the name of Maddie Mox that just looks like Zendaya. And she didn't even speak on that promo that I was waiting for so we can actually verbally see her flapping her gums. And then she just cut a promo how gifted she was. It was a basic promo how she's technically the, insurance for Nick Aldis. Technically showed there. After a bit of interference, using the umbrella after Royce Isaacs came, hit umbrella on Royce Isaacs. Then Nick Aldis hits Marty Scurll with all the pandemonium going around the ring. 1, 2, 3. Strictly Business wins, and it looks like Marty Scurll is gonna take a bit longer for Marty Scurll to earn a title shot. Seeing from that, pretty okay episode. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. There's been NWA Power episodes that I rated a bit higher. Obviously, the positives coming out of a good promo from a pretty alright promo coming from Camille. Pretty good promos coming from Eli Drake, James Storm, and of course Eddie Kingston. The most entertaining match in the show was probably the main event and Rock and Roll Express versus, of course, Aaron Stevens in the question mark. I did not like the no DQ match. Didn't tell much of a story except it was bringing up a basic heel dynamic. If you just wanted Tim Storm to win after you just showed this guy first time on Power, kind of denounces the momentum of Jack's day and a former world champion. But I guess it's supposed to get some guy over. Tim Storm still. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's practically it. Danny Deals got beaten the crap out of. But that's basically it. And the NWA Power isn't that distinction that it was just an okay show. Out of, most of the stuff going on. I haven't seen Ken Anderson. Obviously, Cole Cabana's doing stuff with AEW. The guy's like a free agent anywhere. You wouldn't even know he's like on Impact or something. Yeah. That's NWA Power. Hope you liked the review. I gotta find a way how to edit that. But, yeah. That's practically it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, I'll get more consistent on my reviews. Hell, I'll even try to review some of the NWA pay-per-views from Hard Times and Into the Fire. Comment down below which one to see first. I want to rewatch all the old stuff I missed, so, that's coming for me.